Most people don't realize that this one mistake is ruining their conversations. Are you guilty of it? Join me in this video to find out and learn how to fix it. Hello, my name is Milun. I'm a self-leadership and leadership coach accredited by the International Coaching Federation. You want to be persuasive, more respected, and you want to have impactful conversations that shift everything in the right direction. And most people think that good communication is all about speaking well. That's only half the truth. Maybe you have experienced this yourself. You have a conversation and the other person doesn't seem to be really present. You probably didn't like this feeling that the person doesn't seem to be really there with you. Maybe you are doing that to other people, consciously or subconsciously. You might be pushing people away without even realizing it. Here's why. It happens all so often, and many people unknowingly weaken the impact by prioritizing speaking over listening. We all do it, or we all did it. The habit of thinking that you know already what the other person is going to say. I know where this person is heading with that comment. So before the other person is even able to finish their sentence, you already interrupt and jump into it and finish their sentence for them without actually being really sure what the other person was about to say. Or a question was asked into the room at a meeting or a different setting, and before anyone else can respond, you already hop right in and answer it for everyone. Maybe you're used to that people always rely on you responding. Maybe it's a habit that was based on something good of you helping others to solve situations. You became the spokesperson of everyone. However, is it really helping everyone if you're always the spokesperson? Or maybe you're talking to your team and you ask them to assess something in a meeting, but instead of actually listening to what they think, you share what your thoughts are and what you think needs to happen. There are many variation and constellation how it can happen that you speak more than the people you are in a conversation with. But usually there's a price that needs to be paid. Let's look together at some dire consequences if you don't start working on it. Not giving others the space to express their thoughts and feelings about a situation or in a conversation has different consequences. It often causes that there is no rapport or less rapport. Rapport is the connection and trust that you build with another person. Through the lack of rapport, the conversation partner will feel like you don't care about them or about the matter that they bring to you. Team members will feel disregarded, and furthermore, it can create conflicts, cause misunderstandings and hurt feelings, and even sabotage important projects, as it reduces the chances to solve problems and work effectively together. That means, due to that, team goals will be harder to be achieved, if at all. And on top of that, as a team member or employee, entrepreneur, whatever your situation is, this habit can reduce your performance, success, and acceptance within a team, no matter if you're a general team member or the leader. Now, what exactly needs to change? The solution is active listening. And I'm sure most of you will have heard about that. But let's have a look at it together and understand it even better. After that, I will share with you some practical tips how you can drastically improve it. Listening builds influence. What happens if you work on it? And what influence does active listening actually have? Well, to sum it up, active listening fosters trust, engagement, and better decision making. Your conversation partner or team will feel seen, heard, and in the best case scenario, even understood. This is important because that creates rapport, as I mentioned before. And you need this form of connection, this rapport, as it's essential for functional relationships, no matter if at home, at work, or any other interpersonal setting. Through active listening, the likelihood that you, your team, or your family will be able to either avoid or solve conflicts in a respectful manner is much higher. Through active listening, you will avoid misunderstandings and be able to assist, for example, your team much clearer. It is important to notice that everyone has the desire to be valued and respected. Active listening makes your partner feel exactly that. So the way you want to be treated, treat others. It's as simple as that. But what now? You know the issue and what needs to change. What is now the simple fix? Here are 3 powerful yet easy habits you can learn or implement. When you feel the other person is done speaking, wait for a moment. If it helps, count till 5 or 10. Make it dependent on if your conversation partner is speaking and responding in a slower pace. So you wait a few seconds after your conversation partner finishes the sentence. And if your conversation partner does not use this pause to add, for example, additional thoughts, you can start speaking of your side of the story or your thoughts. This will create a sense of safety and space for the other person as they have enough time to think and form their response. Second, ask after speaking, what are your thoughts on that? This small shift will boost clarity and connection. You will instantly see that there is the chance of a deeper connection and stronger engagement. Thirdly, Reflect and summarize very briefly what you understood. For example, if I understood you right, you feel that we need to change XYZ in this project to be more effective. Is that right? First of all, this will give space to clarify what was actually meant, and it avoids therefore misunderstandings. And furthermore, it communicates to the other person and shows to the other person that they truly listened and understood. Now, you might think, Linda, that sounds too easy. However, I have to give you a heads up. It sounds easy and it can be very easy, but only if you're willing to put in the work and to be very intentional about it. Then it will not be a problem. So make it a conscious choice. Now it's your turn. I suggest pick one today and start with that. Practice it. Be intentional about it and try it out. If you want to grow more in your emotional intelligence, your communication, your self-leadership skills, subscribe and turn on the notifications for more game-changing insights.